Buying and selling of sex has become the second most profitable illegal business in the United States. Sex traffickers, commonly referred to as pimps, can post anonymous ads offering women and underage girls for sex.
A lot of survivors do not believe they're victims. They don't see an issue. They think they have work. They think they are in love with the pimp. They think they have love. I think the first step is noticing or realizing that they are being victimized. And sometimes it takes a while to get to that point. You know, when you are trying to, what can law enforcement give them?
It is hard to prove someone is being trafficked. So traditionally, women caught having sex for money have been charged with prostitution. However, this is changing. Maryland State Police have adopted a different view, not charging the women, but instead going after the traffickers. On this episode, we look at how police are working with women and girls to get away from these traffickers.
Hey, I was calling to see if you're available today. I don't know, do you do like half hours or how do you, short stays or? Okay. I can come over now if are you near the Nursery Road area? Okay, cool. Yes. Yeah, I'm actually in the area right now. But I can come whenever. If you're gonna be a while, I can get lunch or something.
My name is Corporal Chris Hyde with the Maryland State Police. I'm with our Child Recovery Unit. I've been doing human trafficking for the past 4.5 years. Our primary focus is looking for critically missing children. So that's when we first started this. When I first started with the unit back in 2011, we were just a missing persons section. All we did was look for missing kids. One of our first cases that I got turned into a human trafficking investigation. So we've been doing a lot more human trafficking work where we go out proactively, looking for juveniles primarily, and try and get them some help, get them off the street, and get them back to where they belong, or in some sort of offer them some sort of services.
You can see these are just the ads that are posted in the Baltimore area, so which would encompass here as well. But these are all the ads that are posted just pretty much. I mean, we're still going today. I mean, there's 50, 60, I don't know, more than that probably. All ads are just posted today. So this is what we're dealing with, and all these are pretty close to us. If we want to drive to Baltimore City or even Catonsville area or something like that, they're all pretty close. Most of the time, a lot of times we'll start late afternoon, we'll work in the evening. But on a typical, if we go out for say 5 hours, we probably make about 8 or 9 dates, something like that.
When I was a trooper before that, human trafficking to me was, bringing someone over from Asia or something like that. That's what the human smuggling is. That's what my definition, I think a lot of people's definition of human trafficking.
But this one might be an interesting one. We talked about before, she's not taking her own pictures, somebody's taking the pictures for her. Relatively young looking. I'm assuming these are fake pictures, but we would probably make a date with this girl just to see anyway. So I'm gonna call her. Her name is Naomi.
Well, we'll get ready to roll. I'm gonna call her. She told me to text her, so I'll just text her and say I'm on West Nursery. Yeah, they're gonna go sit, and you guys can follow me in and go in the room with me.
I think the biggest thing is it's just getting there to clear that room first, because we don't know what's in that room. We've gone in there's been pimps hiding next to beds. We've had girls in bathrooms before. So it's definitely a safety issue. We're making sure that we're safe and that she's safe too. We don't want to go in there with our guns out or anything if we don't need to. We want to go in nice and easy, and 9 times out of 10, that's the way it happens. But
technology has vastly changed the landscape of how trafficking happens, both how the recruitment and targeting happens, as well as how the actual advertising and sale happens. And so in most cases, now we've seen a lot of what would be victims being put out on a stroll or a track or a part of the city, we're seeing that more often the traffickers are utilizing online escort sites to take photos of their victims, to advertise them online, because it provides a level of anonymity to the buyer too. The buyers don't have to expose themselves by driving their vehicle down to an area where they could be identified or maybe interact with law enforcement if they're out there doing some stings or operations. They can communicate with somebody online. They can go to a hotel room where they can usually get in and out without being identified, and it provides a level of cover for them essentially.
Backpage shows up in a lot of my cases, and I think human trafficking cases. It does appear to be the tool du jour, I suppose, of certain human traffickers.
So they will post ads online and go on different websites. I've seen solicitations also on Facebook. I've seen it on various Kick Chat. Hey, how you doing? Hello.
Last year, it's traditional to have Sweet 16, but last year we weren't able to do it, Sweet 16. So I just came up with Sassy 17. I grew up in Baltimore, right at the border of Baltimore County, Baltimore City. My mother and my grandmother both were ministers. And when my mother remarried, when I was 12, she married a minister. So faith has always been a big part of my life. Tonight is my daughter's 17th birthday. We're doing a surprise birthday party for her. Great Gatsby's theme. She loves the book. So I thought it would be appropriate to do a theme party. And so we're just getting everything together for that. So I know that these are liquor bottles, but they're going to be filled with juice and tea. After I graduated high school, I went to a fairly popular school in downtown Baltimore, a trade school. My parents' friend, who was like a godfather to me, he worked at the school. He told me that the president of the school wanted to meet with me. The president of the school, we talked for a few minutes, and then he began to get closer to me. I kind of pushed him away, and he backhand slapped me and into the couch, and he raped me. And he, like when it was all done, when it was over, he just throws money at me and he's like, okay, get yourself cleaned up. More than anything, the fact that a person that my parents trusted, he totally set me up for it.
We're almost like social workers more than police officers. Because, yeah, we want to lock people up, but our first primary concern is that child's well-being. And even if it's not a child, not 18-year-old girl, I still think an 18-year-old girl is a child. So if I can help that 18-year-old girl or 19-year-old girl or 21-year-old girl, we treat them all the same.
Did I get that?
Yeah, all the way down the end.
Your number, did she give you a number? 271. Debbie, if you want to hurry up and pull in,
all right.
You can probably get us. Actually, like this.
I don't know if Chris explained it to you when he came in, but we're basically looking for juveniles.
Yeah.
But we're victim-centered.
Okay.
So we're not like Vice where we're going to lock you up for prostitution. We're just here to see if you would take help. Like, get out of the game. You're totally steadfast on no.
Positive.
take you?
I'm positive. I'm good.
We can even get you back home and get. Okay. Sure about that?
I'm positive. It's like, I don't want to work. I don't want to get up at 8 o'clock. I don't want to stand on my feet for 8 hours. That's not what I want to do. I don't.
Yeah, but you know this is like the worst.
It's worse to some people. Some people don't like stripping. They think of it as just as bad as this. But I really don't want to be in heels either. For 8 hours, stand on my feet.
Or pay taxes, right?
Yeah, that too.
You ever leave the airport or just stay right around here?
I usually stay around here. I might go to Virginia.
You don't work for a pimp.
No.
So there's nothing we can do for you. But you are done working in Maryland.
Yeah.
We'll know now. So, like I said, we're not Vice. We're mostly looking for a specific victim. So we can't help you out there. So Vice could still come to your door if you keep on working. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you with my card anyway. Be careful.
Okay.
Hello. Oh, do you need house cleaning?
No. Thank you.
Oh. I think 23 is still young. I don't care what you say. But 23, you can't make him do anything. Locking them up re-victimizes them. And then they're still not getting out of it. So your outcome might still be the same for this girl, but can't really force her hand. So yeah, some people think it's unorthodox to not just go in there as a Vice and lock them up. But if you lock somebody up, you will never get the rapport we just had with her. She's not going to say anything to you. You know, before you came in, she freely admitted she has a boyfriend. She knows we stereotype it as a pimp. You know, so they're more inclined to tell us how it works. So each year we get better at doing what we're doing because we're getting intel from them that we're not going to get otherwise.
Traffickers or pimps, whatever you want to call them, are really incredibly skilled at taking the time to get to know somebody and then figuring out what their hopes, their dreams, their weaknesses, their concerns are, and then using it later against them.
What you tend to see, it's like any other business. They have ledgers, you know, they're keeping records and those types of things. And trafficking is very profitable. After guns and drugs, it's the second most profitable way to make money. A person who's trafficked can be used over and over and over and over again for sex. And when a girl is, you know, falls off, or if a girl is sick or becomes pregnant, it's so easy for them to go out and find someone to replace him or her. So they make money.
It's difficult to get these victims to come forward against their trafficker. They love these guys and they protect them, and they don't want to testify against them. They don't even want to tell you who they are. That's the difficult thing, is to get these girls to realize, in the eyes of the law enforcement and the eyes of the public in general, they're victims. They're victims of a crime, a very horrific crime.
Once you have a traumatic experience, sexual experience, it seems like you're almost marked, like you have some kind of sign on you for similar things to happen. So after the situation in the school, I literally walk out the door, walk down the street, and I meet the guy who would eventually be my trafficker. Now, in that moment, I think it would have been logical for me to feel like I wanted to run from any man. But for me, it wasn't. It was acceptance at that moment. It was someone I felt comfort in his voice. He would give me money and I would shop, and it was just everything that a 17-year-old would want. He always made it a point to, let me know that physically he had the upper hand. He finally made me go to an escort service. So he drives me there. I walk up the steps, and it's this lady standing in the door with 2 children on her sides. She said, "What are you?" I'm like, "Well, what do you mean, what am I?" She was like, "Are you mixed with anything?" And she starts looking at me like I'm a commodity, right? And that was the first time that I felt not like a person, less than a person. Later on that night, she called me. And I choked up and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go. I was made to go. And that was the first time that I had sex with someone for money.
So like I told when we first got in here, we are a specialty unit. Okay, all we do is we're out looking for underage girls.
Mhm.
We're not here to arrest you. We are here to help if you want help, and we can't make you get help, but you got to stop doing this. All right, I think you know that.
I actually that's my plan too. This was more of my trip to get me out because I just have quite a few debt and bills to deal with.
Good.
That's the main reason why I'm doing this.
All right. So and again, but if you know of anything, any underage girls or anything like that, then we'd be.
Debbie, you asked her about bad dates. Says you hadn't had a
couple.
No, she's had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because I've been getting kidnapped and I actually been kidnapped before and tied up and back to back of a truck for hours, and then he finally dropped me off in the middle of the desert naked. So it's been bad, and believe me, every time if I have a girlfriend and they try to talk about, so what, what's it like? I tell them the good and bad. I don't tell them all the good and say, oh, all the kind of money I can make, because I don't advise anyone to get into this. I got into this because my curiosity took the best of me. It wasn't because I was horribly, defaced when I was younger. It wasn't because I was doing drugs or anything. It was a boy that manipulated my mind and told me the things that I could get out of this life. And then once I got in it, it was very terrible to get out.
Were you working for him?
I was. Next thing I know, he's like, well, listen, I know a way that we can get this and then get that, and you don't have to worry about doing,
Right.
And of course, then I was 233 pounds. I was just getting out of a 4-year relationship. I was vulnerable. I was like, okay. So.
That's how they do it.
Yeah, they take the most vulnerable women and they scramble their brains up.
Sell your dream.
That's exactly what he did.
And a lot of
He
times
sold me a
their
dream.
brains. It's just like, huh?
Because it's like when you're so infatuated with someone, when you're really just infatuated with who they are and what they tell you, you think that they're giving you the truth. You believe that they're going to do you good. Mm-hmm. And then when they start doing you bad, you're just you don't believe it. You're like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm doing this for him. Why would he do that to me? And then
easy money for him, and he ain't doing no work.
Exactly.
How long did you stay with him?
2 years.
2 years?
So almost half the time I've been doing this. 2 years. I've been 2 years by myself now.
Was he violent?
He was. He started getting violent towards the end because he kept buying drugs, kept buying Xanax and Valiums, and just, I heard he did meth behind my back, and it was just.
How did you finally get away from him?
He went to jail. He got caught up in some jail situations, and when he went to jail, I finally just stopped answering his calls, everything. I mean, it was to the point where my parents had to call the police on him a few times because he would harass me at my house when I would tell him I'm done. He would come to my house and harass my family.
So him getting arrested was your way to get.
Was my way out.
Break out.
Give you the phone number. I mean, we have resources. Oh, she gave you the phone. We have resources nationwide.
And this is for a nonprofit. They're all over.
So if I do call this, what kind of help can they give me? Like, can they help me look for jobs and stuff?
Yeah,
that's my biggest issue, because my record's very bad. And I'm willing to, because I'm a dental assistant, I have a certificate and everything, and I'm willing to work my way up, because I like I said, I want to have a normal life. I grew up in a very good home. My parents are still together, have a big house in Alameda, everything's fine, but...
If you call that number and you tell them Chris and Debbie, if you just say Chris and Debbie together, I met them and they told me to call you, you might have some help for me, they'll help you. If for some reason they don't...
Okay.
If for some reason they don't, then call us and we'll reach out to somebody else.
All right, see you later.
She's probably one of the nicer girls we've ever met. I think she was very sincere. She's opened up about everything. I mean, yeah, she's smart, she's confident. She said when we, off camera, she was saying that she's ready to get some help. You know, she's already going down that road. So I think it's a good thing. I think she was happy to see us, honestly. And she said every other time she's just been arrested. So, and that makes us feel good that, you know, I think she's on the right path. So she has our phone number, so hopefully she'll
See if she calls.
Yeah.
Even with the huge amount of work that the task force has done and that law enforcement is doing in the state, we're not even scratching the surface. So when you have familial trafficking, how are we identifying that? You know, how are we even going to put a number on that? When you have trafficking that's happening in trap houses or in strip clubs, you know, we haven't even really started identifying anything yet. We haven't started that whole process. And so I feel like we're missing pretty big pockets of where trafficking hides. And it has a lot less to do with, I think, the desire to identify as it is resources.
We've really worked really hard with law enforcement to shift the perspective, to focus on the person who is responsible, which the trafficker or the buyer, and reduce the amount of arrests for prostitution that are happening that are directly related to situations of trafficking. As people have become more involved in it, they've realized that this isn't something that anybody would choose to begin with. And so criminalizing an individual who has literally gotten involved because of a lack of options, not an existence of options, isn't helping them by just locking them up.
What advice are you giving your daughter tonight?
To follow her dreams and never stop moving forward no matter what. I want her to know that she has a family support in whatever endeavors she chooses. It's so important to make sure you have support and know that you have support at 17.
Why is that?
17 more than 16, you're going into womanhood, and there's a lot of decisions that have to be made about college and things like that. Just want her to make sure that she's making good choices and just that she has support.
What would an average quota look like for you?
$1,500 to $2,000 a night.
How many people is that?
It would vary depending on the person. It could be as little as 5 or upward to 15 or 20.
A night.
A night. About to surprise Anaya for her 17th birthday party, surprise birthday party. We've been working on it all day. Super excited. Great Gatsby's theme. We're all ready to have fun. No, baby. I gave birth to my daughter on my birthday, and I actually named her after me. Her being born completely changed my life. It gave me strength that I never knew I had. It gave me courage. It made me think beyond my situation. I knew that I had to do whatever I could to get away from him.
If I can go on Backpage, 3 months from now and not see her ad, I'm like, that's cool. Most of our work is not measured other than seeing these little girls or, even guys. We've recovered transsexuals as well and get the help they need.
It's a struggle because does it feel like it's wasted effort? Yeah, sometimes it does, but maybe now that she has our information, maybe if there is something that comes up, she'll reach out to us. So, maybe maybe 1 out of 100 that will actually reach out to us, and that's still better than nothing, I guess.
But to be able to get a 15-year-old girl and to physically see this life that is now, blossoming, that had no hope, and now she's like telling me about what she wants to do and calling me and telling me that, guess where I'm going tomorrow, and guess what I get to do in 6 months from now, and just the stuff that she has to look forward to. Even if the rest of my career, which is winding down, but I don't ever make another recovery or lock anybody else up, this girl's on the right track. That makes me feel good.
And if you don't want to be in this, which I don't think you do, if you've only been in a couple weeks, you've not seen the worst of it yet. Welfare or trying to get benefits.
How many of these girls actually do take help?
Maybe 2 out of every 15.
Why do this? This seems like a lot of effort.
Why make contact the way we do? Because we save 2 out of 15. It's two more than you would if you locked them all up. Any one person you save is good, in my book.